Moment of silence for the champions.
They say we warriors. They say we did it again.
Hands high for the champion.
No surrender, no retreat. We take the battlefield over every time.
Hey, clap your hands for the champion.
We came, we saw, we conquered everything in sight.
Moment of silence for the champion.
D-League Opinions.
Welcome back to D-League Opinions. We're back with Royal. How you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm excited.
Good. So the Lakers, the LA retirement home. How you feel about them, man?
Retire look, yeah, they're like one of them home things. Like, you know, you got the nurses that come and visit, like little residents.
Yeah.
Oh my God, group homes. That's what they call them. It's that, but no, like, believe it or not, I actually have a lot of faith in the Lakers.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the experience that they all have collectively. I mean, you have a whole roster, half of them that have championship experience. You know, even being in the finals. And even ones that haven't been in the finals. I mean, like even with Carmelo Anthony, he still has playoff experience. He's been through, you know, various battles and different things like that. So I'm excited, man. Like, I think they can. I think they'll be able to really like make some noise in the playoffs, and I think they'll win. I think they'll win it all. I'll just be honest.
What?
Yeah,
Sir.
Yeah, that's
my issue with getting Russ is that when you get Russ is going to be your playmaker. Like Russ is just going to be your point guard. Now you have LeBron, and now you're forcing him to play a role where he's more active in the offense physically. He's 36. Like I wouldn't want that for LeBron. Now you're putting LeBron like where he got to make more shots. LeBron, while he will make shots, he's never been a Curry brother type of player. So now I'm questioning, you know, how that's gonna work shooting wise. You know, also LeBron holding up, just period.
I mean but that's partially why I feel like it can work, and like that's even understanding that Russell Westbrook, you know, he can be a little bit injury prone, has a tendency to turn the ball over, you know, decision making can be IQ can be a little bit questionable. But I feel like taking the ball out of LeBron's hands as him being the primary ball handler, I feel like that will, number one, preserve his health. You know, he can restrict his minutes just a little bit so that he's not wearing himself out, so that he can be more of a viable option offensively instead of, you know, setting up people. I mean, because you got to think about it, like, you know, with Dennis Schroeder, I mean, it was just like, you know, you expected this dude to kind of do something, and then it was like, no, he didn't pan out, and then LeBron still ended up being the primary ball handler of that group. So I think you get Russell Westbrook, it kind of maybe takes a little pressure off of LeBron to have to exert that much energy, you know, on the offensive end with setting up people and getting his own. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that. So you got a lot of faith in these boys, man. You do.
I mean, dude, it's a stacked squad. You know what I'm saying?
It's an old squad, man. It is. You got LeBron. I just wouldn't play LeBron past 60 games, period. Like him and Melo, I just wouldn't play them past 60 games to reserve them for playoffs. Then you got AD, who's coming off of his injuries. He had to take care of his body this offseason. You got Dwight, who was, you know, Dwight is still a starting center in this league. Let me say that. But he's not prime Dwight, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see how it play out.
We will.
So now that you got them as number one seed in that conference, who's number two?
Woo, that's a good one.
Man. You got the Nuggets with Murray coming back. You got the Suns
coming off an ACL injury. That, you know, that is a factor. We don't know when he'll come back during the season. So we'll see. Yeah. I mean, you got the Nuggets. I mean, you got, you know, the Jazz. You know what I'm saying? Who were making some pretty good noise. And then, of course, you know, you got the Clippers. You got the Clippers who aren't going anywhere. But, you know, I kind of see the Clippers probably coming out and they're going to come out the gates pretty hard. I think they're going to be number one just by default because I don't think the Nuggets, I don't think having Murray out, I don't think they're going to be able to really like maintain, you know what I'm saying, a good record, they may make some, you know, maybe hit their stride, you know, mid-season, you know, past, you know, All-Star weekend or whatever. I see them doing that, but I don't think they'll be able to get enough wins to kind of hold that spot. And then of course, the Lakers, I see them like third because they're gonna lose a lot of games. I'm just that's something that I want you to know. They're gonna lose a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? But they don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that you're gonna rest half of those games. You know they're gonna be resting their starters. LeBron, he's gonna be sitting out, maybe resting. You know that whole thing. I feel like I think they're gonna be fine though.
I hear that. So the Warriors got I can't remember the guy they drafted, but they drafted a wing, right? I want to say they drafted a wing.
Yeah.
James Wiseman coming back off of injury now has a whole COVID, well not COVID free, but COVID less, you know, off season. You got Klay Thompson coming back, and you got Steph being Steph. How you feel about them?
I feel as if there's gonna have to definitely be some chemistry that you know, like first of all, you cannot put Klay Thompson back on that team and not think you're gonna have success. Like they're a championship team with him on that squad. Anything less without Klay, I mean, you get what you got last season and the season before. I mean, they were an 8th seed, they missed the playoffs. Well, they weren't even an 8th seed, but they were vying for it and they missed the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got them, and I just look like Klay. He's just the X factor for that team because it takes the pressure off of Klay. I mean, excuse me, Stephen Curry, and Stephen A. Smith. But we should have talked about him and Max.
Yo,
that little duo on First Take. Anyway, we won't get into that. But I think, look, I don't think they'll be great this season, but I think they'll be good enough to get into the playoffs. They'll be in the middle of the pack, and they might be a wild card and might upset some people.
I got them at least 4th seed.
I was gonna say 5th seed.
You was gonna say 5th seed?
I was gonna say 5th seed.
So you got the Clippers.
I think that's pretty optimistic.
Who's number 2 seed?
Clippers, and then I'm probably going to pick, and this is me. I'm picking Utah.
You picking Utah?
I think the team that they're building is Utah. Look, I mean, Portland, they've kind of fallen off. I don't feel like they have the team to really just compete in the West like that. And then third, like I said, I would put the Lakers right there.
And who's number 4?
And then
the Suns.
And then the Suns. See that's the only thing. I'm a little bit.
Come on, bro. Come on. I know it's a packed West, but come on, bro.
It's something about the Suns, man, that I'm just not sold on. You know, but like I would say they would have to go like 4 or 5. I'll say 4. And then I look at the Nuggets. Like I said, I don't really think that they're going to be like, you know, the top seeds. I think they'll be like at the bottom, maybe 6. And then I'll definitely put the other team. What is the team that we just said on that 5th spot? Warriors. Yeah, because I just feel like they're going to be a wild card. They're going to get some stride early on.
It's very hard to rank the West compared to the East, because the East, you got the top 3 teams. You know, you got the Sixers. If they get, I believe if they get Ben back, the Sixers. You got the Bucks, and you got the Nets, and they're fighting for that 1 seed, and you got the rest of the fighting for 4 through 8. And then you got the West, and it's hard to rank top 2, 3.
Oh
you got players coming back from injury. You got rebuilt teams, so it's definitely tough. Speaking of the East, the Knicks, man, do you think Julius Randle will continue his success that he had last season?
I do. I actually do. And, you know, I feel like he caught a little bit too much flack last season. This is like his first real playoff experience. I think that was his first time in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you're expecting him to be your number 1 option practically, you know, like your guy. And this is the Julius Randle that we expected when he came to the Lakers, like when he was drafted. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, like in his very first game, he fractured his fibula. I mean, then hard recovery, and then now you're getting bounced from team to team. So I look at it, I'm just like, okay, he finally broke out, and he had his first playoff experience, and hey, he choked. I mean, he did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he choked.
He definitely choked. So you definitely can't argue that. But I think that's something that is kind of common when, this is your first time just kind of tasting playoff, the atmosphere, the intensity, just these teams that you're going up against. They're hungry, and like, I just feel like he wasn't ready for it, but I feel like he's still going to have a pretty good season coming into this one.
So you like the Knicks, especially since they have Kemba Walker now. You like them, what, 5th, 6th seed?
Yeah, I feel like they're more like a 6 seed, maybe 7. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't feel like they'll but granted, I mean, the work that Tom Thibodeau is doing over there, dude, would change. Oh my God.
He was doing the Lord's work. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just changing that culture, dude. Like just the level of just fire that he gives them. Like you could feel something was brewing, you know what I'm saying, at the beginning of the season, how like even the way they were talking, like it was something to behold. And they just played with more energy, man, than what you've seen, previous seasons. So like I think they'll be good enough, but I feel like, I mean, even look like you got Kevin Knox, dude, who they draft, like they got like, oh my God, this guy can stretch the floor. He can do a lot of things. So I feel like the talent is there, but they just need time to get it straight.
Yeah, I also think that he have players that haven't reached their potential yet. But going on to best big man, so you got Jokic, you got Embiid. Who's gonna show out better this year?
Woo, that's a good one. And this is, I mean, taking into account, I mean, dude, Jokic, he did win MVP,
but he won MVP. But if Embiid would have stayed healthy, he would have had my vote,
and it would have had my vote too. And like you saw him when he went down. I mean, even he was injured during the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So which was that was hard to watch. Because he literally watched that whole series, go through his fingertips. But like, to your point, Joel, I feel like he's more of an offensive threat, more dominant. I think we saw like a glimpse of what a lot of people have been wanting him to do, is just dominate, because really nobody can stop him. Nobody can stop him. And like, I think he finally found that out last season, that nobody can stop him. We've been saying it for years, but he finally got it.
Yeah.
And then, like, Jokic, I look at it, I'm like, this dude, I mean, oh my God, foreign players, dude, just the way they played the game overseas is just different.
It's more team oriented.
It's very much so. So it's like when you put him into that, into the NBA, it's like he sees the floor way differently than every other big man does.
Yeah.
And he runs it like a point guard.
He does.
Like it's bigger than just the stats, but the impact is there. So I look at it, I'm just like, all right, great. But who would I pick as the best big man? Joel Embiid. He would have my vote.
Embiid, he looked purely unstoppable, I believe. Like it was nothing you could do with him.
Oh no.
It was tough watching him because he's one of my favorite big men, and I love the Bucks. It was tough because I was rooting against them. At the same time, it hurt a little bit because Giannis was dropping like 35, 40 on his head when they played. Oh, man, it was tough.
Woo, yeah. Oh my God.
Like nothing you could do with Giannis. I had to throw that in there. I had to throw that in there. There was nothing you could do with Giannis, man.
I mean, look, he's technically a big man. Look, I know that's yeah.
He's meant to do it all. He is. One more thing before we go. Who you got for MVP?
Oh my goodness, man.
I think Steph should have won it, but who you got MVP this year?
Yeah, Steph probably should have won it, but like I feel like he just turned it on maybe just a little bit too late. And I look at it, I mean, honestly, Joel Embiid, honestly, like again, if he wouldn't have got injured, he was one of the top MVP contenders last season. Like I said, I don't see LeBron getting another MVP. I mean, I feel like he's just been cheated way too many times. And KD, Harden, none of them are going to get MVP just because they're playing together. That
was my point last year. It was that one week you would Harden for MVP. Next week, oh KD. Next week, oh Kyrie. And it's like y'all gotta get on one accord. But go
Y'all
ahead.
gotta get it together.
Exactly.
And I honestly, I feel like if Joel Embiid can ball out like he has, I feel like he can win it again if he can stay healthy. 'Cause, I mean, we just saw something different, man. Like I was watching the games, dude, and this dude literally nobody can block him out. Like nobody. I mean, he was bodying people, man. He was throwing his weight around. I mean, dude can shoot. You know what I'm saying, from 30 and
Yeah.
beyond. I mean, like he can play all like every facet of the game. He's able to affect. You know, so like, and he can kick out too. So I love it, man. I feel like he can do it if he can just stay healthy.
You just
You know, and I don't think Jokic could. I don't think he's gonna have that type of season that he did this past one.
yeah.
So I think I'm giving it to Joel again.
I think what would help him if Ben comes back, because if Ben comes back, now Ben can again this year take on everybody's, best offensive player, and Embiid could take on like the best, the best center, the best big man. And so he could show out doing that, which number one, which makes him look better since he doesn't have to guard the best offensive player. Number two, lets him, give out less energy. So if Ben doesn't come back, I don't know. He would have to be top 3 seed again if Ben doesn't come back. He would have to be top 3 seed again to be considered MVP.
Well, good point, because I mean, oftentimes the MVP goes to the winningest team anyway. So I mean,
They do, but sometimes they choose the person who had no help, like Russ in 2016.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, even with Stephen Curry, he almost won it, and his team didn't even make the playoffs. So it's all up in the air. But at the end of the day, it's all about win, success. Who can make their team more successful with their play? So I think Joel, he can do it.
I think he can too.
Yeah.
And that's it for D-League Opinions. Thank y'all for watching. We will see y'all later.